Good morning.
Good morning, Angel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Just thought I'd get here early to see if my colleague had joined yet.
You're the first. Looks like people are starting to file in now.
Yeah. Delisa, can you confirm that you've got her PowerPoint? Will you be the one advancing that today?
I will not. I will give it to her. I will give her permissions to share and advance her own screen because I think it just runs smoother that way.
Ah, okay. She's under the impression you all will be advancing that, so we'll need to let her know when she arrives.
If she needs me to, then I can. But
Okay.
I just think it makes more sense for the presenter to move their slides along as opposed to having to say next slide every time they want to go to the next slide.
Yeah. Okay.
But we can do it either way.
Okay. We'll check with Amy when she arrives. Thank you, Delisa.
You're welcome. Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Is this the pre-show?
That's right.
Yeah.
Delisa, are you able to forward me a copy of the agenda, please?
Yes, I'll email that over to you.
You're the best.
How's my audio, guys?
How are you all doing this morning?
Doing good, thank you. How about you?
I have my coffee now.
Yep, got my tea.
There you go.
Orange juice.
There you go.
Orange juice Jones?
I should be drinking apple juice. Matter of fact, let me pour that. I need to get my hydration right.
You're right. I drink my water first to get my hydration. Now I'm having my coffee and I'll have a smoothie later.
Right.
That sounds like a good
healthy.
Mix. That sounds like a good mix.
I sound healthy.
So will I be able to share my screen?
Yes.
Yes, I will give you permissions to be a co-host in 1 second.
Let's do a mic check. I'm having problems with this mic. Check. Test.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
1, 2, what is this? 5-foot assassin with the roughneck business.
Thought I had the DJ on the call.
Yeah.
Speaking of DJ, we supposed to meet, man. We ain't set up our meeting.
We didn't. We slipping.
Slipping hard, man. I'm nervous, Darren. You got any advice?
Well, if you have
Look at your
nerves,
face. Don't say nothing.
If you have nerves in public
Your
speaking,
face.
I recommend joining this organization called Toastmasters. They will help you improve your public speaking skills.
You should have saw your face. He was like,
I did. I'm like, Brandon, nervous about speaking? You know what? Let me think of a clever response real quick. Let me give him what he's asking for. Because you asked for that.
Good morning, Amy.
Yeah, good morning, Amy. Good morning, Tish.
Amy, do you want to advance your own PowerPoint slides? They do have the PowerPoint, but they were recommending that they could make you a co-host so you could advance them at your own pace.
That's fine. I'm good either way. I actually, yeah, if I can advance them through that would be great. I'm actually on my personal computer because my work computer doesn't have a camera. So here we are.
Thank you.
And if you'd like, you can go ahead and test your slides real quick. I did give you permission to share your screen.
Wonderful.
Darren, will Julie Kenkai be making it today?
No, Julie Kankai is otherwise engaged this morning. I don't expect her to make an appearance.
Let her know we say hello.
I will. I will let
Darren,
her know.
did you have everything you need as far as, I think Carissa said she was sending you over
Oh,
a list of events?
I just received an email that has
No,
the agenda.
it would have came yesterday or the day before with the list of events.
From Carissa?
Yeah, or maybe info. She might have sent it from info.
Let me see.
Okay.
'Cause
Because she basically like made a list for you with all the upcoming events to make it easier, and I think she attached flyers for them.
that would be great. Let's see. Stay and access to capital, meet our members.
Good morning.
Tish, you're
I found it.
here.
I'm going to forward it to you
Yeah, I'm
right now,
here.
Dan. I just found it, so I'm going to forward it to you.
Yes, I think I just got it. No, no, excuse me. I just saw it. So yes, I have the Capital Connections, Meet the President. I have all of those now.
All right.
And she did send me the agenda before. I missed this email. Okay. All right.
You good to go, Amy?
Okay, so what do I need to do to get the slides?
Do you have your presentation?
I don't,
Okay.
but I can fix that really fast.
Okay, because I will have to check my email to see if anyone emailed a copy to me.
I can fix that in 2 minutes if you'll give me just a second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Morning, Darren.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. Just looking to get some information downloaded, and my computer is taking its time to do that. Or maybe it's too smart for me.
Darren, if you'd rather, I can pull them up as a backup.
If you would be available to do that, that would be great. That would save me some energy. Speaking of energy, we have all of NV energy in the place today.
Amy, I have the PowerPoint too, if that can be helpful to you at all. You're on mute.
Angel,
Story
if you could forward this to me.
Story of my life. I'm always on mute. No, I should have it here in just a second. I emailed it to myself.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And it is 9:01. So welcome everyone to the October edition of the Urban Chamber of Commerce Coffee and Commerce. Hope everyone has their coffee. I know Angel has her tea. Brandon has his juice. I see Amy has hers. Tish, what's going on? Long time no see.
Good morning. How's it going?
It is a good morning. How is yours going?
It's been busy. It's been a busy month.
Busy is better than broke.
Yeah, and I had a birthday this month too, so that was important.
Was it yours?
Yeah.
Well, all
Happy
right.
birthday to me.
Happy belated to you. Another trip around the sun.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So we're going to be getting started officially in just a few moments. I know there are still some folks that are looking to jump in and join us on this event. And we have a lot of great information that is going to be shared from several folks from Tish. We're going to be talking about Toastmasters and how important it is to be able to talk good and junk. We also have, thank you, Angel. I'm glad you got the joke. I would hate if that one fell flat. That would be very embarrassing. We also have some folks from NV Energy to share, well, energetic information. That was much funnier in my head. So we're going to get started just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's a few folks that are still looking to join us. Hey, Marcel, how you doing, sir? Good to see you, sorta. Speaking of see you, sorta, this is still a networking event. And, so go ahead and please turn your camera on so that we can see you and network. I know you super, Marcel. We know how super you are. We do. Even though we are in a virtual setting, it's okay if you didn't brush your teeth because we're in a virtual setting. I did see some of y'all are not laughing. So, now I know who. It's all right. It's okay if you have coffee breath now like I do because we all had coffee. It's all right. But let us see your face. Even if you didn't do your hair, it's okay. I didn't do mine either. So that we can improve and increase I know Marcel did his. So improve that networking experience.
Looks like we may be having some technical difficulties here with our host, Darren. So I'll go ahead and take control of the meeting. To start the meeting, first, we want to thank you all for coming. And now I'll give control back to Darren, it looks like.
I'm here. I said we we're going to start in a minute, and I was trying to fix something I'll buy in during that minute. But thank you, Delisa. I think that's Delisa's polite way of saying go ahead and get started. So I guess I better do that. And once again,
I
welcome.
wasn't sure if we lost you, sorry.
No, Delisa, you cannot get rid of me that easily. In fact, funny story, my previous computer was doing that. I'd be in the middle of a Zoom and all of a sudden my computer would completely shut down, which I'd never heard of that before. I'd actually be working on it all day, but if I was on a Zoom at the end of the day, it would just shut off completely, not go to sleep, just completely shut off. I said, all right, well, this obviously needs to be repaired. So I went to a computer repair organization. I won't name their name, but when I asked the Geek Squad dude, hey, have you heard of this before? He said, no, I've never heard of that at all. So I said, I guess that means it's time for me to buy a new computer. So I'm in front of one of my new computer right now, so I should not have any more technical issues. So with that being said, I see that we have some folks that have jumped on in the time that we allowed for that. So we're going to go ahead and get started officially. And once again, welcome to the October Urban Chamber of Commerce Coffee and Commerce. That is a mouthful. But we have some great information that's going to be shared, and we're going to start off giving everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves. Excuse me. But as we do that, what I'm going to ask everyone to do now and periodically throughout the Zoom is to go ahead and put your contact information in the chat feature. We're doing that simply because, hey, we're in a virtual setting. We can't hand or receive business cards. And so I'm asking everyone to have their information available in the chat feature so that for those that would like to receive your information, it's already there. So thank you, Tish. I see you must have had yours already ready to cut and paste, right? So
Always.
always. She is a veteran. That is why she is one of our featured speakers today. And so we're going to give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves now. If you've never been to a Coffee and Commerce before, even if you have, the way that we do our introductions here is very simply this. First of all, we're going to talk about what we're not going to do. We're not going to talk about our next seminar, our next workshop, our next event, the special we're running for our business, any of those things right now. I see Marshall nodding his head. I appreciate that. What we are going to share is our name, our company name, and what is a good lead or referral for our business. Once again, our name, all of us know our names, right? Okay, good. All of us know what company we represent today, right? Okay, good. And then we also know what kind of people we are looking to meet. So what is a good lead or referral? So for example, my name is Darren Mitchell. The company that I represent is Legal Shield. A good lead or referral is any business owner or business professional that understands the value of having access to attorneys and consultants to protect and grow your business. Once again, my name is Darren Mitchell. Simple, right? Okay, no one's nodding. I'm nervous. These give me some long introduction. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Lisha. Thank you, NV Energy. Thank you. All of the, I'm just gonna call it the NV Angels. The Energy Angels. There we go. Energy's Angels right there. Perfect. All right. So yeah, the jokes don't get any better. They actually decline throughout the morning. So I'm going to go with this like Hollywood Squares, but it's going to be on what's on my screen. I know all of our screens look different. And so the first person that I see on my upper left is Amy Clark. So if you would please unmute yourself. And LaShondra, you're going to be on deck. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Amy, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can't take any of the credit for signing up. Angel is the one who leads me every step of the way, so my gratitude goes to her for sure. So again, Amy Clark. I have been with NV Energy for almost 7.5 years now. I retired from TVA, which is a federal utility company, and came out to fabulous Las Vegas. I am one of the procurement managers here at NV Energy, and we are always looking to increase competition for equipment, materials, and services. And we are especially interested in small businesses throughout the state. So I'm going to share some information with you later that'll hopefully be educational for you. But I'm going to put my work information here, my email address and phone number. Shoot me an email, give me a call. If you have any questions, you're interested in doing business with us, I can definitely be your point of contact to get you with the right group.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Very much appreciate that. And yes, she's going to go into even greater detail later in the Zoom today. So LaShondra, please name, company name, and a good lead or referral for your department for you. I won't say who you're representing yet. You do that.
Hi, good morning. I am LaShondra Lewis, and I am the owner of Nevada Forklift Academy, LLC. A good lead, I think, would be pretty much anyone, because we are forklift trainers, and we are trying to provide OSHA training and certification to those. So I would say anyone from insurance, individuals that maybe work in the insurance field, that maybe have individuals that are trying to get work in the industrial field. Also, I would say maybe employment agencies, that type of thing. But we definitely are here to, and I'll talk a little bit later about what we do as well, but we're definitely here to just network with whoever knows someone that needs to be OSHA certified, professionally and on the forklift. So
awesome. Well, LaShondra, yes, you're correct. You too will be speaking later on in the Zoom. And I apologize, I misread my notes, and in my head, I thought I saw NV Energy next to your name as well. It's NV Forklift. No. So obviously you're not one of the Energy Angels. It's just Angel and Amy. So it's double A. I got it. Okay. Speaking of insurance professionals, there's another insurance professional that is here that you'll get an opportunity to meet virtually. That might be a good connection. And speaking of good connections, ladies and gentlemen, one of the benefits of having your camera and having it on is that as people are doing their introductions, if someone says something during their introduction that is valuable to you, you want to connect with that person, please just go ahead and give them a wink and a point, so that they know, hey, I need to look for that person's information in the chat so that we can connect. So, for example, you mentioned one of a good leader referral for you is an insurance professional. And I happen to know that there is a very high-level insurance professional on the Zoom right here, right now.
Nice.
You just gonna sit there, Tish? You just gonna, I'm trying to set you up. She not, okay, you know what? I'm gonna come back to her. Brandon, please introduce yourself, sir. Go ahead and unmute, and then Angel, you'll be next.
Yeah, see, I thought you was gonna give me the pre-warm-up.
Yeah, I got distracted. I got distracted. It's my fault. That's why I went ahead and said unmute yourself and try to give us the space to do that. But because you are a consummate speaker, I was not concerned with your ability to share your information at the drop of a dime.
Yeah, as an amazing I can't even say the word.
Extemporaneous speaker. Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Speaker. I can't even say the word, but my name is Brandon Ward. I am a franchise coach, business coach for Action Coach, and also a co-owner of Dream Safe Project, which is our nonprofit organization. Also the vice president of education of Toastmasters, who I am representing today. A good lead for me, honestly, is any person who's a business owner. I'm looking for strategic alliances, so team leaders, small business owners, managers, any person who needs training for their team, their staff, or any business owner who needs an accomplice to be able to take on these obstacles, not alone, with a confidant and with somebody to help them out. That's a perfect lead for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. I'm glad that you were here with all of the hats that you wear. Very much appreciate that. And again, Brandon will be speaking, as he said, he's representing Toastmasters today, and he will be speaking about that in a moment. In the meantime, Angel, she beat me here. She didn't meet me here. She beat me here. She was waiting in the Zoom when I arrived. Just please introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Angel Williams. I'm the Community Relations Manager for NV Energy here in Southern Nevada. And a good leader referral for me, then would be any community event that you learn of that you think would be a good place for us to be there with our customer caravan, just to show it off and show what we can bring to customers would be helpful to me. Thanks, Darren.
Awesome. Thank you, Angel. And yes, I could attest to the fact that NV Energy is very flexible in their payment structure, at least on a personal level, because when the world shut down, like many of us, income started to dwindle, and I wanted to be able to literally keep the lights on. And so thank you. So they were very flexible in doing that. I very much appreciate that. And I know that there are many business owners out there as well who can attest to the very same thing. So I'm going to go out next to Jim Davis. Go ahead and unmute now. And Marcel, you're going to be on deck. See how I gave him space to do that while I talk to Marcel? See how that worked, Brandon? See how I do? Jim, so glad to see you again, sir. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jim Davis. I am a family law attorney here in town, and I'm running for family court judge in Department X. A good referral to me is to point someone to my website, encourage them to vote for me, and to look on page 2 of your long ballot. So 58 district court judges on the ballot this time around, and I'm in Department X. And I love these meetings. They're so energetic. I think Darren has something to do with that. So thanks for having me.
Always glad that you were here. Very much appreciate seeing you here, Jim. It's always good. And no, I'm just a conduit for the energy that all of you bring. I'm just sipping on coffee, trying to get by. Marcel, please go ahead. And Tish,
Hello.
You're on deck.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marcel Norman. I'm a business development consultant with U.S. Bank. The type of person that we will be interested in is anyone who is in construction right now is really a good industry for us, landscaping, anyone that would need some type of equipment financing or anything like that. Just so y'all know we are still lending.
That's good. Wait. So speaking of lending, I don't want to speak out of school, so please follow me on this. I know that there were some government programs that we had talked about in months past regarding the pandemic, and I know that U.S. Bank was very instrumental in helping small businesses access some of those funds. Is that something that is still available?
Currently, right now, the main thing that you were probably speaking about is the PPP.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Right now, there's no funding for that. There's no PPP financing that you can get, which, you know, there was only about a 2.5 month gap for that. But we are doing other type of lending to help, you know, bridge the gap between what that was able to help and hopefully throughout the end of the year. So if there's something like that that anyone's looking to do or need, please don't hesitate to give me a call, because there are other options out there still.
Awesome. And I will say that Marcel and his team actually were very active and remain active with the chamber in making those funds available. So I appreciate the fact that even though that window closed, you're still here and giving to the business community. So wait, I just want to say something real quick. I've never met LaShondra. We've never even seen each other before, but LaShondra, all of y'all are checking boxes. I don't know. I'm the guy that points out the elephant in the room. So LaShondra is in construction, and Angel mentioned something about construction. No. Marcel mentioned about construction.
Yes.
Pardon me. Angel mentioned small business. I don't know the size of LaShondra's business, but I think she said she's a small business. And she said also she's looking for insurance professionals, which leads me to the next person that's going to do their introduction. Tish, go ahead and mute yourself, please, and introduce yourself to the Zoom.
Well, good morning. I'm Tish Bryant. I'm with Capstone Brokerage. I'm an account executive here. The perfect client for me is any small business looking for coverage, any small business owner looking for any sort of insurance information, because I'm not just an insurance broker, I'm also an advisor. So feel free to reach out to me. My information's in the chat. If you need any assistance or have any questions, give me a call.
Oh my goodness, LaShondra, you're winning today. You are winning, in my opinion, just from my observation from the outside looking in. A couple more folks, and I always mess up this gentleman's name, and I really hate to do that, and I hope that he will forgive me. But Saad, if you'd please unmute and introduce yourself, and then Ashley, you'll be next.
Hey folks, sorry about that. So I'm with Action Coach here in Las Vegas. I'm here because Brandon Ward, I work with Brandon Ward, and I'm here on his instructions, and I look forward to meeting everyone. And we're looking for small businesses to kind of network with and coach small businesses. Any business owners in the beauty industry, estheticians, makeup artists, hair salons, things like that. We have experience with those types of businesses. So if you know anybody who's got a small kind of business like that, that wants to really grow nationwide, let them get in touch with us. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Once again, so glad that you are here. Excuse me. There we go. So, and last but not least, Ashley, if you could unmute and please introduce yourself as well.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ashley Helmsley. I'm here as part of Independence Physician Management, and I'm excited to be here. I really appreciate it. I think the best way we can partner is looking for any businesses that are looking to route that we can take exceptional care of your employees. So we are a physician group. We have specialties. We have primary care. We have 7 practices in the Valley. We're part of the Valley Health System. So when you're looking for perhaps routing any of your employees to great care, we're here for you.
Awesome. Ashley, so glad that you are here as well. And thank you to all of you for attending this month's Coffee and Commerce. And as promised, we have some great information to be shared, some great information to absorb. And since all of us are entrepreneurs and business owners in one form or another, can we all agree that it's important to have a plan before you start your business? In other words, you need to know what you don't know and know what you need to know before starting a business. And one of the areas, obviously, for example, one of my favorite examples is Famous Amos Cookies. Famous Amos, you know, if you don't know the story, Google it. It's a great story and a great cautionary tale. He knew how to make cookies, but there was not much more than that in business that he knew. And so we can agree then that there's a lot of things that you need to know in building your business, especially starting your business. And one of the areas in which you need to be knowledgeable in building your business, and specifically starting your business, is insurance. And so we have one of my favorite insurance professionals here right now with tips and information on things you need to know when starting your business, representing Capstone Brokerage, my good friend, Tish Bryant. Please, the Zoom is yours.
Thank you. And good morning again, everybody. I know I just told you I'm Tish with Capstone, and my information's in the chat. So typically I work with a lot of new business owners, a lot of new entities that are just starting out, and they ask me, they have like a couple questions that they usually ask me. I want to kind of go through those and then answer those for you guys on the call today. So the first question I normally get is, does my business need employment practices? What is employment practices liability? And the short answer to that, if you've never heard about employment practices liability, if you have an employee, the answer is yes. And the reason is, it's most people think employment practices is all about, what about harassment? If one of my employees harasses another, maybe I'll get sued for that. But actually, it's about your practices as a business owner. So say, for example, if you fire someone and they're upset because they feel like they were unfairly fired, or you hire someone and another person feels like you unfairly gave the position to someone else. Those types of losses, that's what employment practices is there to cover. So if you have an employee, yes, employment practices is good for you. Hired and non-owned auto insurance, a lot of people are kind of confused about what that really means. So that specific insurance coverage is for if your business has anyone driving on behalf of it. And it's not a car that you own, it's a car that maybe someone rented, but if they're driving on behalf of your company, they're hired for you. So you need that auto coverage in place for that specific risk. A lot of people kind of question between general liability and professional liability. What's the difference there? So general liability is more of like a physical damage or some sort of loss that could be accrued based on someone walking into your business, maybe a slip and fall. But a professional liability is your actions as a specific professional in your field. So something you say could be taken, and if they feel like you said it wrong and they want to sue you for that. And it's really, professional liability is protected from those types of lawsuits based on your actions as a professional. A lot of people don't really understand insurance premiums and how they work, and how can they reduce them. So a little bit about insurance premiums is normally they're based on a loss ratio. But if you're a new business, you've never had a loss, so you're wondering, well, how can I even be rated so high? Well, there's another factor that kicks in, and it's how dangerous is your business. So, for example, I know there's someone here that does work with forklifts or works with people who have forklifts. So the amount of damage that can occur if someone was to drive that forklift under the influence or have some sort of incident where they rolled over someone's foot, that's potentially a lot of damage coming from that. So their rate's going to be much higher than someone who, say, they sell shoes. I mean, you're not going to put on a shoe and rip someone's foot off. So that being the case, you don't really have to worry about your mod being as high as someone who's driving a forklift. Another thing, a lot of people want to know the difference between a business owner policy and a general liability policy. So the main difference there, if you're looking at a business owner policy, then that means it's more of a package. It's covering not just the general liability, but there's also something else, usually the property involved is what's going into that package. And people usually look for a general liability when they should be looking for a BOP. We call that a BOP, or a business owner policy or business owner package. And that package would cover your equipment. So like your computers, your desks, all those other things, that business personal property that you own, that you would feel really sad about and you'd be really hurt about if that stuff actually was missing, or if a fire happened. So you'd want to look at that business owner package. 1 second, sorry, I may be talking too fast. So someone asked, with professional liability, does the insurance company provide the insurance holder with attorneys? Yes and no. Short answer, no. They will, the insurance company has their own attorneys that they will use, but there's always resources, especially if you're using a broker. We usually network and we usually will refer you to someone to help you out. But the insurance company is more so there to put money in place for the attorney. So usually you'll see attorney's fees as part of the limit of liability for professional liability policy. So if you're working with a broker, you probably have someone who can connect you, but the insurance company won't really provide you with an attorney. But if it does get to a point where the insurance company has to litigate on your behalf, then yes, they have attorneys in place that would do that, but not specifically for you, in court for you, if that makes sense. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. So I just had 3 more points here. So some people wonder why it takes so long to get a business insurance quote more so than an auto quote. And the short answer is, how many cars do you see driving around? Almost everyone has a vehicle. So insurance is a slowly evolving business. And as there are more cars, there became more people who wanted to just write for that risk. But each individual business is going to be different. So you have some insurance companies that'll cover specifically just construction. You have some that'll cover specifically just home health care or healthcare in general. That being the case, it's kind of hard for them to say we can just put something online for everybody to just go click straight through, because your business model is not going to be like the person next to you. But if you're sitting next to someone in a Mercedes C-Class 500, well, that C-Class 500 is just like the one beside yours. So insurance is a lot more of a different animal. It's a lot different to differentiate between each business. Plus, each owner is different, and you have to assess the risk involved in the owner as well, because someone who's been doing it for 15 years is going to know more and be better suited to do it than someone who's been doing it for 3 months. So that answers that question. And the other thing is, why are workers' compensation rates so expensive? And that kind of gets back into what I was saying with the new businesses versus those that have been doing it for a very long time. So those mod factors kind of tell us, first of all, mod factor tells me, is your business dangerous? So if it's a forklift, that's pretty dangerous. But if it's a guy trying on shoes for people, that's not so dangerous. So the work comp rate would be lower. So you just have to look at your specific business model. How likely is it for there to be an accident in what you do specifically? And then the last question is that I get is, I'm a small business and I need insurance. Can you help me? And that takes me all the way back to, my name is Tish Bryant, Capstone Brokerage. My email and phone number are in the chat right now. And if you guys have any questions, anything that maybe I didn't cover, anything that I covered that maybe you want to talk about a little bit more, give me a call, because I can help any business owner. And we even have someone here who can do health benefits as well. I'm commercial, but we offer all health and life benefits as well. So reach out to me, and thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Feel free.
I'm here. Dang, Tish, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Did you, and I might have missed it because I was doing 3 things at once, and I apologize for not being as focused as I should have been. Yes, you already answered the Lisa's question that she put in the chat, correct?
Yes, I did.
You a bad girl. You a bad girl. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause virtually? Were there any other questions? I know that she asked, but I'm going to ask again because I want to make sure that all of these areas that she's covered are answered. Thank you, Ashley, for the virtual round of applause. I appreciate you paying attention. Thank you. Not for me, for Tish. Are there any other questions at all?
This is Brandon Ward. I just want to connect with you at a later time regarding a strategic alliance. I think we can work together.
Okay. Works for me.
All right. See, this is still a networking event, still an opportunity to connect with people and build those relationships. Speaking of relationships, the Urban Chamber of Commerce has a series called Ducks in a Row. And just yesterday, we spoke about building real relationships and the difference between just a relationship and a real relationship, among other things. I believe that that panel will be available at some point on either the Facebook page or the website of the Urban Chamber. We'll talk more about that later on, and Delisa can correct me because she handles all of those things. Speaking of correcting, when you're speaking, it's important to be able to speak good and be able to take correction, because you can improve how good you speak. Now, for those of you playing along at home, you realize that I made at least 5 grammatical errors. 2 of them I know of. But the person that is going to share with us the importance of effective communication, how that is so effective or important in the business place, in the workplace, in the business arena, and where you can go to improve your ability to communicate effectively. He is the Vice President of Education, the Minister of Education, as I like to call him. He's a multifaceted entrepreneur. As he's already introduced himself earlier, I'm going to pass the Zoom over to Mr. Brandon Ward. Take it away, sir.
Dun, dun, dun. I got like a theme music in my mind, y'all. Like I gotta get hyped up and I gotta get the jitters out, right? So jitters is definitely a part of speaking. And we'll talk about that a little bit here later. If I can, I'm gonna share my screen. I have the ability. Thank you, Delisa. And Darren, can you just confirm that you can hear me correctly, please?
You sound amazing. That deep baritone is coming through and your screen is up. So just start presentation so we don't see the slides ahead of time and do your thing, sir.
Oh, all right. I already gave up the cookies on there. All right, guys. So good afternoon or good morning, fellow chamber members and guests. That is how we greet each other. My name is Brandon Ward, and today's presentation is how Toastmasters can benefit you in your business. We're going to talk a little bit about skills, leadership, networking, and relationships. But what I found is most important is that you have to have a unique learning experience when you're teaching anyone or you're trying to apply inspiration to your speech, because the audience has to connect with you. So hopefully you're able to connect with me. I'm not going to go too deep into my story, but in 2013, I experienced a tragedy where my daughter was hit by a hit and run driver, and she fought for her life and she survived. From that experience at that time, I was just a business manager. I was managing a business where we had 6 locations and I managed 75 employees. But that was pretty much the gist of my life. Not much purpose. I took care of my family. I took care of my kids, and I played sports and I played video games. But after the accident happened, I experienced this shift. And when I went through this depressed state, I was pretty much at my lowest point in my life. And honestly, it was just like a rebirth. It was a complete growth. It was a complete transformation. And it all started. I didn't go to counseling. I didn't go see a therapist. But what I did do was I reached out and I looked for as much positive information that I could, inspiration that I could. And I ran into Mr. Les Brown. Les Brown, he had a bunch of YouTube videos. And the good thing about it was that these speeches that were once performed in large audiences that you had to pay $2,000 to $5,000 to attend, you can get these presentations for free. And my favorite ones was ones like "It's Not Over Till I Win," "It's Possible," "Step Into Your Greatness." And yeah, it's possible. I must really like "It's Possible." I put it down twice. But it was something about what Les Brown did for me that I honestly wanted to give back and I wanted to do for others. And it was to be able to tell my story, but I wanted to be able to tell my story and not be afraid to do so. So in 2014, I joined Toastmasters. And like I said before, I was a former police officer who became a business manager. My goal was just to tell my story and not really embarrass myself. Since joining Toastmasters, I am now a 2-time author. I'm an ETA certified speaker. I'm a business coach. I'm the co-founder of my nonprofit Dream Safe Project. And I'm also the vice president of education of Lunchtime Talkers, which is the Toastmasters hub for the Urban Chamber of Commerce. If you're not a Toastmaster, if you never have experienced Toastmaster, I highly recommend that you at least visit and give us a try and see what it can do for you. But what can it do for you? So for me, before joining Toastmasters, I never spoke in front of any type of crowd. I think the only time I had spoke before was at a funeral. But since then, I've spoken in front of large crowds, small crowds. I've spoken in front of schools. I spoke in front of adults, children. I spoke at seminars, webinars. I've done AM, FM radio. I've done podcasts, board meetings, church congregations. I've done mentoring for after-school programs. I coach teens and I coach business owners. I have, you can see that right there. I have recorded interviews. I have done live interviews. I've spoke at the Chamber of Commerce at events similar to this. I've done funerals and I've also done virtual conferences. And I don't say all that to brag. I just say all that. I've gotten all of that to the point to where I've had to grow into that. I have to transform into that. And to be honest with you, I honestly owe it all to Toastmasters. So how can Toastmasters benefit you and you on your journey? And not just your business, but you as a person, because if you are a business owner or whatever you may do or whatever your aspirations are, communication is key. Everyone needs to be able to communicate. If you have any thoughts, if you have any ideas, it's very important for you to get your thoughts across. Not just that, say you're single and you want to pursue somebody, your communication is key, because that can really be a benefit to them loving you or being attracted to you. Our Toastmasters mission is we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. When I first joined Toastmasters, I just wanted to be a better communicator. I didn't really know about the leadership portion of it, but as you get into the program and you start doing a lot of the practices and you start actually participating, you'll be surprised how much you start to, that these skills, they just become you. I truly believe that right now, within the pandemic and us being in the fourth quarter of 2020, one of the worst years ever, but also a blessing in disguise, that you really got to pivot into personal development. And when you pivot into personal development, there's certain key things that you need to work on. One thing is cerebral, which is your communication, your comprehension, your critical thinking. Next is your physical health, fitness and sports. Then you got your social, your community, networking, having common goals and aspirations, and having common goals with others and coming together. Next is spiritual, your core values, awareness, self-evaluation. And then next is emotional, being aware of your feelings and emotions. And when you're a part of Toastmasters, to be honest with you, you get a dose of not all of this, because the physical portion is a little bit different. We don't really get to work on the physical, but being part of Lunchtime Talkers, we do get to work on some type of physical, because we can feed you healthy and we can improve your health decisions. But one thing I want to talk about is the cerebral, because whenever we're working on personal development, communication is key. Whether you are in your family setting or whether you're in your business, you must be able to communicate, whether it is negative communication, whether it's positive communication, knowing when to uplift others, knowing when to coach, and knowing just the words to say, and then knowing what not to say. You heard Trish say earlier, within businesses, a lot of things, liabilities pop up, and just a person's speech can become a liability, and they can be sued over it. So you want to make sure that you are mindful of what you're thinking and what you're saying. And when you're involved with Toastmasters, it helps you to be able to think on your toes. When it comes to social and community, I love Toastmasters because within Toastmasters, I've been able to network with like-minded individuals. Depending on what type of group you go to, our group is more focused on like business and business development, but you can find your niche in any Toastmasters group. They have Toastmaster groups for singles. They have Toastmasters group for married couples. They have Toastmasters group for authors. Just whatever your niche is, you can find somebody within your community there. And then it makes things easier because you're no longer alone. The spiritual and the core values portion of it, honestly, it's going to be a test, because when you commit to something similar to Toastmasters, you have the expectation is that you show up no matter what. And the thing about it is, even in your world, even in your business, you have to have that same mindset, because tragedies happen, things happen, and you got to be able to push through. And a lot of times Toastmasters is a real good test of that, because you may have a responsibility that you signed up for and it's been there for 2 weeks, but then something pops up within a day or two before the meeting and you want to cancel, but all you got to do is apply yourself to that hour. And honestly, you experience a breakthrough when you're able to push through your darkest times and your most difficult moments and still be able to show up and still be able to do your job. And it's also a test on your emotions. How can Toastmasters help your business? Let's just talk about the skills and communication. So we talked about that, but not just communication. What about branding yourself? What about marketing? What about doing live video? When you're part of Toastmasters, it's going to help you with that. If you need to do presentations, if you need to train your staff, if you need to do anything, even if it's just talking with a vendor, it even help you with your sales. You get a lot of people who fear just talking to people and trying to convince people of certain things. Well, just by you becoming a more competent communicator, you're going to be able to close that deal, especially if you have skills behind that communication. Speech writing. If you never wrote a speech before, it's going to give you the skills to be able to write speeches and write them in chronological order and be able to paint a picture of what you're trying to say, and then to be able to inspire others to move and change. Next is time management. Hopefully that I'm on my time. I didn't start my timer, so Darren, I need you to help me out on my time management. But it helps you with time management as well. Not going overtime and not going under time, but being conscious of time and being conscious of others. Multitasking. You have listening, because you have to be a good listener. You have to have certain skills and within certain jobs and certain roles of Toastmasters, where that's all your role is to do, is just to listen, and not just listen to how many times a person says so, or any type of fillers. What I love most about Toastmasters though is the leadership portion, and it's the ability to work with others that don't look like me, that don't come from the same background as me, but realizing that we all are the same. We all struggle the same. We all get nervous. We all have anxiety. We all have fears. We all have stressors, and just having a community to be able to come to and to be able to express how I feel, whether it's something going on in the world. All right, thank you, appreciate you. Whether it's something going on in the world, or whether it is something just going on within the community, having a place where you can congregate, where you can express yourself, come together, and you can push forward. Making sure that you're able to delegate as well. As a business owner, we get a lot of business owners who like to do things themselves because they don't trust others, but Toastmasters teaches you to trust your team and also how to delegate. Positive criticism and optimism. When people do things that are good, they need to be rewarded, and you need to know how to reward them. But like I said, even when you need to discipline them, you need to know how to positively give them criticism and coach them so that they can get better. Always, you want to learn to be inspirational and motivational, because you want to push people to be it, to move, to have influence, to accomplish the mission of the job, and then working on your teamwork and development. These are things that you think like a single parent home, or a child who didn't have a brother or a sister, they don't really know how to work together as a team. And some people, they need to learn these skills, and they don't have the groups, or they don't have the resources to learn. So Toastmasters is the perfect platform for you to work on your teamwork and development. And then lastly is going to be strategies, coordinating, marketing, sales, recruiting, event planning. We got roles where you got to call the guests and try to get them to come and become members. But those are all things that you will be doing in your business. But lastly, what I love about Toastmasters is the confidence that it gives you. Just the ability to be able to say what you want to say when you want to say it, and not being nervous. Always capturing that moment, especially when opportunity presents itself. Nipsey Hussle said, when opportunity meets preparation, you need to be ready. And I feel like Toastmasters has always had me ready for every opportunity that's ever presented itself to me. It helps me to be diverse and be able to talk to multiple audiences, whether it's children, whether it's adults, older, younger, millennials, Gen Z, you name it. I've learned and I've talked in front of all crowds, and it's helped me to be versatile, and it can help you to be versatile as well. This is a picture of our group right here. We're a little bit thinner right now after COVID, but this is like one of the core groups. Our president is there all the way to the right. We got a nice, solid team. I love this team. A lot of personal development here. We meet every first and third Thursday at noon on Zoom. So we will be meeting again this Thursday at noon, which is tomorrow. A guest can visit for free. The meetings are only an hour long. Memberships are 6 months, and the memberships are $45. Club fee is $20. You think about it. You got 6 months of personal development, networking, and you get access to members of the chamber as well. All for $65. You can't beat that, but at the same time, you get to work on your personal development and your business development. So I always like to leave with a quote. I say, change is coming, but you cannot remain the same. And we all know that. We all know that change is definitely coming. If you don't know that, hey, now you know. Things are never going back to the way they used to be. So we must change and adapt. And it starts with ourselves. I highly recommend for this last quarter that you get real selfish for a portion of your day, and you really focus on yourself, whether it be your spiritual, your health, your personal development, speaking, reading, educating yourself. Just pour into yourself, because what we are preparing for 2021 and that shift is going to be something that you don't want to feel as if you didn't take advantage of the time. I ask that you be blessed. And if you have any questions, I'm here. Thank you. Oh, I got some social media stuff.
Shameless plug,
You're welcome.
shameless plug.
All right.
That was a happy accident. Thank you, Brandon. Once again, are there any questions? Anyone? I mean, he covered very thoroughly exactly what Toastmasters is, what it's about, and how it can benefit you. Did anyone put it? No questions in the chat. And again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Also, feel free to put them in the chat feature. But again, any questions for Brandon?
My questions.
I don't have a question, more of a comment. I joined in 2015, so I guess kudos to you, Brandon. You gave a great presentation. If you want an all-county report afterwards, I got you. And it's a Toastmaster thing. And I just wanted to say that I agree. I think that since I've been in here, it's helped me to get a promotion, gain confidence, be able to even talk to people. I was very shy and timid before, but Toastmasters really brought me out of my shell. And I've seen other members get promotions, like even within months of joining. So I do think it is really great for your personal and professional development. And I just wanted to echo Brandon's statements.
Yeah, thank you. And you're right. Thank you, Delise. I counted your arm too, by the way. But you're right. You're right. Honestly, guys, I'll ask a question. Is there anyone, have you ever been to a Toastmasters? You can raise your hand. Aaron, Amy has. I know, oh, I can't see the cameras on the others. Lysandra has. All right. All right. So I just say, please experience this experience one. And if you don't like the first experience a different one. You know, sometimes the groups have hot days and sometimes they have cold days. Sometimes you can just get to the right group at the right time. Just believe in like spirit is going to guide you to the right place where you need to be. One thing I love about Toastmasters is there's always somebody in the room who either can help you or you can help them, right? It may just be a message. It may just be something that you say that may get somebody through their day. There's been times where Ken Evans, the president of the Urban Chamber of Commerce, has been in the room, and maybe he's been going through something personally, but then after he left the meeting, he left full, inspired, and ready to take on the week, ready to take on the day. And just having that type of effect on others is a gift of God. So just, you know, I just tell people, tell your story, and not just tell your story, but, you know, say it with passion and inspire others, but, you know, practice it. Go to Toastmasters or any other speaking group, work on your personal development and communication, and I promise you that you can really change lives.
Well, once again, Brandon, thank you for that very thorough presentation on Toastmasters. And Delisa, you beat me to it. I was going to ask if anyone had done an all counter, and we could do an all counter report because I didn't start. And then Delisa beat me to that. And the reason I mention that, ladies and gentlemen, is because as Brandon said, those are some of the things that you will experience in a Toastmasters chapter, that when you are speaking, there are people in the room whose entire job is to look for things to help you improve your presentation. So thank you again, Brandon, and thank you to Lisa for calling him out on his ums and ahs. Appreciate that. I'm going to move forward now. Oh, by the way, one more thing. In the chat, Ashley, thank you. Please contact the Urban Chamber's office for details on joining our Toastmasters chapter. Or Brandon, if you could message Ashley with the link for tomorrow's Toastmasters, because she says she's interested in looking forward to joining. So since there is a meeting tomorrow by way of Zoom, if you could contact Ashley directly and get her that information, I would appreciate that. In the meantime, we're going to move forward. We have a couple of members of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. Many times our speakers are typically members, but in the Coffee and Commerce, we have an area of the meeting set aside specifically to spotlight some of our members of the Urban Chamber of Commerce, and they have an opportunity to speak specifically about their business, what they do, what they bring to the table, as it were, and how you can benefit from their services. And the first person with that opportunity today from NV Energy, this time I got it right. Amy, if you go ahead and pull up your PowerPoint. Amy with NV Energy, she's already introduced herself earlier. And as she's pulling up her PowerPoint, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's some folks that have just joined us. So if you have not, even if you have already, please put your contact information in the chat so that we all can have each other's contact information as we are continuing to network, because the folks that joined us recently won't have that information from what they put up earlier. So with that being said, I'm going to turn the Zoom over to Amy from NV Energy. Go ahead, Amy. The Zoom is yours.
Hi, great. Good morning, everyone. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I think Toastmasters is a great organization. It's you know, it's helped me, it's inspired me. And yeah, talking about the ums and the ahs, I had a professor in graduate school that if you said or ah, he would shake his keys, he would drop his keys, and then you had to start your presentation all over again. So I kind of learned the hard way. So thank you for having us today. The question that I get asked is, how can I do business with NV Energy? And I'm going to talk about that. And then also just some tips for doing business with large organizations. So if you don't already know, in 2013, NV Energy merged with Berkshire Hathaway Energy. So we are part of a holding company. And this quick map here just shows you our service territories, including pipeline. We also just recently acquired Dominion Pipeline, so we'll be adding that to our portfolio as well. So as far as NV Energy, our main offices are in Reno and Las Vegas. We have approximately 2,400 employees. We have 1.2 million electric customers, and in Reno, 200 natural gas customers. We provide service to 90% of this state, and actually this number has changed. It's not 43 million visitors a year, it's 50 million, but I know this year is going to look way different. And then as far as our own generating capacity, a little over 6,000 megawatts. And we definitely hit that and went above that this past summer. Here are some of the products and services that we typically buy. It's not an exhaustive list. That would be impossible for me to put together. But when we were talking about the forklift training and the OSHA certification, please register with NV Energy. And I'm going to show you how to do that. That is something that we do every year for our forklift heavy equipment operators. And we definitely, it's a specialized, and we've kind of sometimes struggled with finding people who can provide that. So please reach out to me. That's great. Construction is a big thing right now. The city is growing so fast. Landscaping, paving, cement. So we have a lot of stuff that we do purchase. And just some quick advice for doing business with NV Energy or a large customer. Definitely know your customer, know what they do, and what their goals are, their role in the community, what they provide, and make sure that your business is properly organized. I can't tell you the number of times that we've issued an RFP and the person that was supposed to respond to the RFP didn't know that they were supposed to submit the proposal. So make sure that that person is identified, that you don't miss those opportunities. And be sure to have a purchase order or a contract in place before you perform work that ensures that you're covered. Talking about insurance, make sure that NV Energy is covered, and it also makes sure that you get paid on time. So, and be able, when you do reply to an RFP, make sure that you can do the work. We've had instances and throughout my career that someone actually was the successful offerer on an RFP. They came in to do the work and either didn't understand the scope of work or didn't understand the magnitude of the scope of work. And that's just an ugly conversation to have for both parties. So be sure that you understand the scope of work. And if you don't, ask questions during the RFP process. We're always happy to answer those for you. And the number one question, how do I get on a bid list? So attending events like this, LinkedIn, Facebook, you know, all of the networking opportunities that you can attend, do attend. I know it's been challenging this year with the COVID and being virtual, but I have been really impressed with how these organizations have just switched over to Zoom or virtual meetings, and it's been extremely effective. So how do you get on an NV Energy bid list? We don't have a pre-approved vendor list, which is great because that means that everybody has a fair chance. So I'm going to skip on down here. The best thing, this is the best piece of advice I'm going to give you today. If you are interested in doing business with NV Energy, go to this website, nvenergy.com, and then you'll go to About Us, Doing Business with Us, Suppliers, and then submit company information and register on Jagger. So Jagger is our ERFX platform. Those of you who've done business with us in the past may have remember Power Advocate, but it's now Jagger, and you can register your company information in there. So if you are a paving company, you give us your name, give us your what you do. If you're paving, construction, you supply sand and stone, whatever the case may be, you'll get a chance to enter all that information in. And so the next time that we have an opportunity or a solicitation for that commodity or equipment or service, we already have your information and we already know that you registered and told us that you can supply that, and we can grab your information and drop you in on a bid list super easy. And the cool thing about this that I think is the best is not only does NV Energy see the supplier information in Jagger, but all of the Berkshire Hathaway Energy affiliates see that. So if your service extends past Las Vegas, past Reno, you know, and you're more global than that, you can have the opportunity to submit bids either specifically from other affiliates or for BHE-wide solicitations. And then just touch again on NV Energy contracts. Make sure that you have a contract in place. If it's just a purchase order, those purchase orders, and not just NV Energy, but all companies, those purchase orders have terms and conditions. Make sure you read those, make sure you understand those. And I know contracts are long, they're hard to read, they're boring, all that. I love them, but I'm weird. But if you have questions about the draft contract or what a term means or what one of the conditions means, be sure to reach out to your procurement person and we'll definitely get those answers for you. So the last gem here, so I know that was super short, but questions and answers. Here is my information. I'll also put it in the chat. Email me, that's great. Call me, that's great. If any question, I'm kind of like the catch-all here for the procurement department. So any questions you have after this presentation or in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, feel free to reach out to me. And if you can't find me, Angel always finds me, so reach out to her. Do we have any questions? I wasn't that good.
Oh, but you were. But you were. I was here the whole time. I saw the whole thing, officer.
Well, like I said, you know, if you don't have a question today, but you do tomorrow, feel free to reach out to me. We are doing some modified work schedules because of social distancing and things like that. So if I don't get right back to you, please be patient. It may be one of those weeks that I'm working from home.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, NV Energy. Thank you, Angel, for always knowing where Amy is. And thank you for all that you do, Angel. Very much appreciate that. And I agree with you, Amy. Contracts are boring. Shameless plug, wouldn't it be nice if you had access to an attorney to review your contracts before you sign them or before you enact them for your company? I don't know. I'm just saying, if you have that, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to have access to attorneys? Tish, don't you agree? What?
I agree, and just you know, since you are a special group here, it's really when you are in the RFP process, do have your attorney look over the terms and conditions. That's the time to submit red lines. And it's amazing the people who don't read it, and then it's very frustrating and it draws out the process if you wait until contract negotiations to submit, at least start talking about red lines to the contract.
I agree completely. So once again, Darren Mitchell, the company I represent is Legal Shield. For any small business owner or business professional who understands the benefit of having access to attorneys to review those contracts. I'll have my information in the chat. No, Amy, you set me up so well. I have to take advantage.
And absolutely that, and I tell any supplier that, let's go ahead and get that reviewed and come to a mutual agreement. That's what contracts are about.
Contracts are written by attorneys for attorneys. It just makes sense that review yours before you sign it. And obviously, business owners and business professionals and large corporations like Amy's and NV Energy respect when you have those resources. So it's a mutually beneficial situation all around. So again, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Angel, again. Thank you, NV Energy. And speaking of mutually beneficial, I think LaShondra is going to contact and connect with just about everyone on this call.
I am.
At least from where
I'm
sitting.
so excited.
Yes, I mean, we're at a networking event, and it's the purpose, in my opinion, is to make new contacts that are, again, mutually beneficial. The beauty of Coffee and Commerce is you also get great information, as we have gotten from Tish this morning, from Brandon this morning, and from Amy this morning. And now, speaking of LaShondra, with NV Forklift, she too is going to share some information as a new member of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. So, LaShondra, the Zoom is yours.
I appreciate it, Darren. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Amy for mentioning, because I was already putting her information down to contact her. So thank you, Amy, for that. But I just want to speak a little bit about Nevada Forklift Academy. So of course, we've been in this crazy pandemic. Everyone knows, and it's affected all of us. And I will say that my real job is, no, not my real job, but I do have a real job. I work for United Healthcare, have worked there for over 23 years, and have had management and client service experience more so. But I do have experience in the convention industrial world as well, along with my husband, who has been a convention teamster for over 20 years. He's, been in leadership and foreman work, coaching, developing individuals, training them already in over 30 years of experience in driving forklifts. So it was because of my sister, Taisha Moore, who she just kind of dropped the seed one day about individuals needing certification for forklift training. And we just prayed about it, and it went from there, my husband and I, as far as, okay, can we really, and unfortunately although I haven't been affected, he has been affected during this pandemic since March of this year. So, because, everyone knows it's already difficult enough living your everyday life, right? Paying for things and, just living your everyday life and paying for bills and whatever, what have you. But in really thinking about it and praying about it, we decided, okay, we know that there are individuals out there that want to enhance their experience. We know, if anything that hasn't stopped, and I don't remember who mentioned it, but someone mentioned construction. Construction, if we drive around the city, we see things happening all over the place. And then we have businesses that are still running, like grocery stores, Walmart, places, warehouses where people are still ordering from Amazon. So we thought, okay, we know that there are plenty of individuals who want to work. Maybe their industry has been affected and they are now sitting at home. They want to, get back out there. And so that was one of the things that we became really passionate about, just trying to help people, get back on their feet, get certified in an area where we know there's guaranteed work for them. And so we decided, to start Nevada Forklift Academy about 3 months ago now. And really, we want folks to be safe. We want folks to, be OSHA certified, because that's what's required of them. And we want them to be able to, like I said, move on in a different direction. We've had individuals, some of our clients tell us, I'm so glad, and they're so happy, and that feels good to make them happy, because once they get that certification, they now know that this can be a bump in their pay. You know, these are things that will open doors for them as far as their experience. Maybe at some point they can then in turn start training for their company. They can move on into different levels of position levels within their company or other companies. So we decided, how passionate we were about safety, of course, in the workplace, seeing, like I said, things happening still around town with construction, and us being able to provide that need to service and, of course, help people in Las Vegas and Nevada keep the economy going. People working absolutely helps, in this day and age. So that really, and I'm sorry, you guys had such great professional presentations. I didn't put a presentation together because I just really wanted to speak candidly about, how passionate we were, because of starting. You would think, a forklift, certifications, like who really needs that? But there are plenty of people in need. They need to know how to safely drive. We've had questions about, do I need to have a driver's license to drive a forklift? No, you don't. It's its own category. So that's what the certification does for you. It's like your own little driver's license, for driving around your workplace. So we teach you everything from, being safe, watching out for your pedestrians. The folks are considered pedestrians in your workplace that work with you. Teaching you how to lift with the forklift correctly. We do hands-on forklift training. So we do an in-classroom training first. That takes about an hour, maybe a little longer to go through the in-classroom training. And then we do hands-on. Once that's all done, your certification will last you for about 3 years. Okay. And then we'll do a recertification, which does not require hands-on. So we can just then recertify you in the classroom per OSHA standards. So that is really it. We are located at 6149 South Rainbow Boulevard. And by appointment only, we can set you up or anyone up for forklift training. We definitely make sure we meet COVID-19 safety standards. Once we're training, we are masked up, we are, spraying and wiping everything down. We have those individuals masked up as well with, even to the point of gloves, but we make sure that we are meeting COVID-19 safety standards. And we are open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. So that's really it in a nutshell about who we are and why we started, for Nevada Forklift Academy. Any questions?
You know what,
Yeah,
President? Go ahead, Brandon, go ahead.
Chandra, I probably missed it. How long have you guys been in business?
Really only 3 months. So we're hitting our 3rd month as far as business in this particular business, yes. So
You said the perfect lead for you would be who?
I would say the perfect lead for me would be, we're really looking for companies. At some point, we want to be able to connect with employers. So that way we can, because we've had folks ask, well, can you help us get a job, now? So we would like to connect with employers in that respect. Anyone that has connections to the construction industry or industrial industry where we can get these folks trained and, make sure that they are receiving the certification and the safety instructions that they need. But, I would say industrial businesses. Amy is Nevada Energy is a good contact. Large companies in that way, warehouses, companies like Walmart, who have these folks in their warehouses that drive those forklifts. So anyone that can connect us to those individuals that need that training.
Be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Any other questions? Anyone? And Lashandra, if I needed a good electrical company, can you recommend someone?
I can, yes. That would be my sister.
I forgive me. I'm being facetious, ladies and gentlemen, because when you mentioned that Taisha is your sister, I'm like, well,
Yeah.
God, it all makes sense now. It's a family affair.
Yeah, yeah. G3 Electrical. That's my shameless plug for her.
Yes, yes. I was trying to set it up softly because and look, Amy says, look, NB Energy uses electrical too. So
Oh,
we
okay.
need to connect the forklifts with G3. I mean, of course, NB Energy uses electrical.
All
But
right.
yes, there are definitely some strong connections being made here this morning, and that is exactly why we do these events, to ensure that our members and the business community at large has an opportunity to connect, even albeit virtually, to continue to build those real relationships to grow your business. And Lashandra, if your
Awesome.
information is in the chat, I will be talking as well, because we've already
Great.
talked about why new businesses need access to some of the stuff that we've all talked about.
Yes.
And Taisha is a happy client of mine as well. So
Yes.
that's my
I have,
shameless plug.
I have to ask her why she didn't refer your information over to me.
It's all right. We go give her a big hug. And we gonna say it's
All
okay. Right. And you and I are gonna have a conversation
Okay.
about what it is I do and where it's gonna be valuable for you. Speaking of value, if there are no other questions for Lashandra, Delise is gonna help me out in showing all of us some other events that the chamber is putting together, or has put together rather, to bring value to all of our members as well as the business community at large. And it starts off this Friday with access to capital. Now, look, let me just ask you a silly question. Who here, as business professionals, needs access to capital? Okay, see, those of you that are not raising your hand, we're gonna have a different conversation, because I see you, Rock. I see you. We're gonna have a different conversation, because if you don't need more capital, you have enough to give to me. So access to capital, as you can see, access to capital resources, networking opportunities. It's going to be done virtually, obviously. There are breakout sessions available for you to learn from other business owners. And then my screen has something on top of it. Is someone else trying to share? What are we doing? But that is sponsored by Charles Schwab Bank. Please go to info@urbanchamber.org to email, or urbanchamber.org to get further details on this event. There it is. And then there's one-on-one meetings with investors. So you're going to be able to meet with the money, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be able to meet with the money to be able to, yeah, I see you, Lashandra. I see you. Like, you going to meet with the money? Yes, we're going to be able to meet with the money to help you get some of those other capital, access to capital here at the Urban Chamber of Commerce. The next event that we are hosting, let me see here, is actually a virtual business crawl. And wait, no, which one is she putting up? Let's see. I'm following Delisa, because Delisa's the real boss. I'm just the host. They just give me the microphone. So as I was saying, virtual business crawl. Now some of you might be asking, well, what is a business crawl? That's a good question. Some of you might already know what a pub crawl is, or a bar crawl. It's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. You know, it's when you go to a bar, you drink, then you go to the next bar, drink some more, and then you go to the next bar and drink again. That is correct. So how do you do that in the business setting? Well, in the business setting, we all get together and we go to a business, learn about that business, jump back in the van, continue to network, and then go to the next business and learn about that business, and continue to network throughout the evening. Now, I know what you're thinking. We're not jumping in the vans nowadays. You know, I'm staying at home. And you're right. And so what the Urban Chamber of Commerce so brilliantly decided to do, because we actually did that last year, but this year we're doing the exact same thing, and we're doing it virtually. So you can sit in the comfort of your Zoom and visit several different businesses on a Saturday afternoon. So when you aren't doing anything anyway, you can sit in front of your Zoom on a Saturday afternoon and continue to network and meet other business professionals and meet some of the businesses here in the Las Vegas Valley that you might not have known before. So that is coming up October 24th from 12 to 2. Again, urbanchamber.org will have all of the details of that event. Urbanchamber.org will have all of the details of that event. Now, if you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, you're telling me there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to be doing this business crawl and learning about all these other businesses. How do I stand out in a situation like that? I don't want to just be there. I want to stand out. That's great. We want you to stand out. And the best way for you to stand out is to sponsor the event. You know, so sponsorship is only $200. Wait a minute, Delisa, is that right? It's only $200? That's it?
Yes,
Oh my goodness.
that's it.
That's a steal of twice the price. So for that $200, you will receive a virtual booth at the expo. That's right. We're going to have an expo setting virtually in addition to a business crawl. We are putting 2 events in one. You're going to get, of course, great acknowledgement at the event. Your logo is going to be all over everything. And if you know anything about marketing and promotion, you want your logo everywhere. And if you don't believe me, ask Shondell Newsom with Some New Marketing. You got to try something new. Your logo will be on all the promotional material and registration. And then again, you're going to be all over our social media channels as well. Again, $200 to have your name and your business broadcast on your behalf and then promote it actively at the event. Again, a steal at twice the price. I might have to make sure I get, who do I talk to, Lisa? Do I call the Urban Chamber to get that information? urbanchamber.org.
Yes, you can call us and I'll put our info in the chat.
Perfect. info@urbanchamber.org. Now, there's one other event, at least one. Yeah, there's one other event. Yeah, this one is cool. This is one of my favorites. I mean, they're all my favorites, but this one has a special place in my heart. Why? Because when I joined the Urban Chamber of Commerce several years ago, the Urban Chamber of Commerce at that time was very focused on helping larger businesses, the casinos, the NV Energies of the world. And even though they always help smaller businesses, I'm a micro business. I'm a solopreneur. It's just me. And so even though I had a heart to join the chamber and be a part and grow my business and learn more about all these other businesses, I struggled with how do I in my business make use of my chamber membership. I already give you my money. I'm not going anywhere. So how do I make sure that I navigate through the chamber effectively? And at that time, I was able to get a meeting, myself and my wife, with Ken Evans, the president of the Chamber of Commerce. And we sat down and I said, okay, Ken, how do I make this work? And he gave us homework on what to do. But fast forward about 2 months later, I'd already gotten a return on my investment as a chamber member. I was already able to say, look, I've invested this money as a chamber member, but because I was involved, I'm already to get a return on my investment. And now everything from that point forward has been, I've got a return of my investment. Now everything has been a return on my investment. Why? Because I got involved and I was able to meet with the man, the myth, the legend, the president himself and find out exactly what to do. Now, here's the thing. Ken doesn't do that all the time. In fact, I don't know if he's ever done that again or before, but here's what I do know. We recognize as a chamber the value of having access to the president of the chamber. And here's the thing that I love about our chamber. I challenge you, honestly challenge you, to go to any other chamber in the city and meet with the president, especially the chambers as large as the Urban Chamber, your Vegas Chamber, your Henderson Chamber. I challenge you to go and even find out who the president is. But here at the Urban Chamber of Commerce, the president of our chamber, Mr. Ken Evans, avails himself to specifically new members, but given the way things have gone this last year, we are opening this up to all members to be able, and it says new member orientation, but we've opened it up to all members to be able to say, okay, I want to meet with Ken, and you must be a member. You must be a member. This is not for guests. This is family only. And you'll be able to meet with Ken virtually, of course. And he's going to give you some information about what the chamber is all about and give you specific details on how to grow your business. In fact, each attendee, and I've seen him do this multiple times, where every attendee says, this is my business, this is what I'm looking to do, how can the chamber do that? And it doesn't matter if you're selling fish sticks on the corner or if you are training people to drive forklifts. He's able to give you exactly the information that you need for your business and how the chamber can help you grow. And so it's great to be a part of that. And it's going to happen again on the 20th of October at 6 p.m. Again, it's going to be done virtually. And the registration information is available at urbanchamber.org, 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 so that you can register for that event so that you can get the link to that Zoom so you can meet virtually the president of the Urban Chamber of Commerce. I love that event. It is great. Is there another one, Delisa? Did I forget one?
So I'll just mention that we were gonna mention the Toastmasters, and Brandon already spoke to it, but it is every first and third Thursday, and we do have one coming up this Thursday. And then we're also going to mention that we will have a breakthrough breakfast, and that'll be on October 28th, Wednesday, October 28th. So if you guys are interested, you can go to the website to find out more information on that. We don't have a flyer available yet.
That is all good. So urbanchamber.org is the place to be, the place to go. Brandon, if you didn't already, if you can, I'm not trying to put you on the spot because we didn't discuss this earlier, but if you have the link for the Zoom for Toastmasters that is tomorrow, I'm going to ask you to put that in the chat if you have that available. If not, it is all good. But I am going to ask if you do to go ahead and throw that in the chat because I know LaShondra is going to be there. I know Marcel is thinking about it, even though I can't see his face. I'm just calling him out a little bit because why not? There you go. So we have a lot of folks that are going to be joining or attending Toastmasters. If that's not possible, because again, I'm not trying to put my man Brandon on the spot. I'm confident that if you go again to urbanchamber.org in the calendar of events, the events calendar, all of this information is going to be there as well. So thank you, Delisa, for backing me up on that. Is there anything else that I missed, Delisa?
No, sir.
All right. Well, with that being said, I would like to once again thank our speakers. Tish Bryant with Capstone Insurance, Brandon Ward with, man, he got like 5 different organizations. But today, representing Toastmasters, he's also an action coach. Definitely, you want to have a coach in your business. That's very important. Thank you, Angel and Amy from NV Energy. Thank you, LaShondra. We gonna talk. We gonna get, yeah, okay. Thank you, Del. Hey, I see you here. I appreciate you joining us today. Marcel, thank you as well. And for all the other attendees who weren't able to stay and hang out with us this long, we thank them as well for the time they did share. Brandon did throw up the link to Facebook to get the link for for Toastmasters tomorrow. So I'm gonna stop talking. I want to
Good
thank
question,
everyone.
Darren.
What's up?
Hey, are we or this is for Delisa. Are we scheduled for a State of the Chamber?
That usually
We
happens
are
at the beginning
scheduled
of the
for a
year.
State of the Chamber, so we haven't decided yet, but I'm thinking more than likely we'll probably do that virtually, and it'll still be on that 4th Friday in January, which would fall on the 22nd. And then we're also scheduled to have our normal Women in Business and Politics in March as well, and resume business as usual in 2021, hopefully, with social distancing applied.
Thank you.
All right.
Darren, great job today.
What was that?
I just said great job today again, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So, ladies and gentlemen, take this opportunity, if you have not done so, to please save the chat. If you're on a PC, if you open up the chat box, there should be a button with 3 dots on it. Excuse me. If you click that, there'll be a button that says Save Chat. So you can save all the information, all the contact information of everyone that joined us today, in addition to the Facebook link, to get the link, the Zoom link for Toastmasters tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific. They're called lunchtime talkers because they do feed you. But in this case, being that it's in a virtual setting, it's going to be feeding you intellectually and not physically. So please bring a sandwich. Was that the only one? Nope, that was it. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, if you have not already done so, save the chat. Thank you again to all of our speakers. Thank you to all of our attendees. Thank you to Delisa. Thank you to the Urban Chamber staff. And I will see you next time around. Good morning.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you all. Have a great day.